Good morning, everybody. I'm Melanie Miller, and I'm one of the top agents here at Premium Properties. And I'm very thankful to be one of the top agents. And today I'm going to talk about some things that I've done over the past decade for my career that has put me in that position.
Starting out, what did you do when you first started?
I think it's extremely important when it comes to real estate to really target in who are the kind of people that are most likely to work with you. People like to work with people that are like them, people who they know, who they like, who they trust. So it's really important to start in your actual internal sphere. So one of the biggest lines in real estate is never be a secret agent. I can't emphasize this enough. So if you have children, if they're in clubs, soccer, things like that, people that are in your immediate vicinity that already know you, that already trust you as some sort of an authority. Now, what's interesting is they say that, strangers will first trust you in the beginning before your friends will. And that is kind of true because until people see that you're actually succeeding in making it, if they all know that you're a new agent, it's a little tricky. But with that being said, when I first started, I want to say my first 2 transactions were from my immediate sphere of influence. So I would say make a list of your top 100 people that you know that are in good professions, working professionals. One of the interesting things is with this market is it's one of the most difficult markets that we've had in the past 2 decades. So with that being said, you have to take a little bit of a different strategy because there's not as many first-time home buyers that are qualifying, but I can talk about that at a later time in the conversation. But when you're first starting out, it's really important for everyone just to know that you're an agent. It's also really, really important for people to think that you're knowledgeable, that you know what's going on in the market. Just saying, hi, I just got my license, use me because you know me, that's not going to work, especially nowadays. We have more agents ever. When I started in the business, there was 13,000 realtors. Now I think our local market has almost 50,000. So that requires an even more strategic strategy. People like to work with people that most resemble them. That's just the sales characteristics 101. So for example, if I were to start today brand new, I'm 41 years old, I would say, okay, probably my target client would be someone between 30 to 50-ish, professionals, dual income. Where are they going? What are they doing? How can I put them in front of me so that they'll be most likely to like me? My highest sale year to date, ironically enough, was 2.1 million, and they were people that were 41 years old, married couple from New Jersey, right? So there you go. So you get somebody like me, I'm a little bit more aggressive, high intensity. I know that people from the Northeast, I gel really good with. So that would be example of what I would consider my target client. Depending on you have to look at yourself, right? What are you into? Are you really active in your church? We have an agent here that did really good. She got a lot of transactions from her church. So any kind of groups, hobbies, things that you're in for the kids, that's really, really your first place where you want to start. But on top of it, you want to make sure that you come across as knowledgeable. So for me, I'm really, really big on knowledge, data. I'm consistently reading articles about the market. I want to see what's going on. I'm watching different kind of YouTube things. It's very, very important that 50% of your job is prospecting all day long, every day. Because if you don't have prospects, you don't have anything. But aside from that, in my opinion, the second part of your job needs to be data. What's going on in the market? What are the trends? How has things changed? What does our inventory look like, right? Right now, we're back to inventory levels of 2019. So the way that you talk about the market is how people are going to view you as the expert and the professional. And that's what's going to make them want to pick you over the lady from Keller Williams who they've been getting her mailers for 10 years. If the people know you, but then they also see that you are knowledgeable and you're capable and you're intelligent, they will work with you. The biggest thing too is to stay top of mind and then to make them feel comfortable. So if you were their favorite choice, there is an element in real estate that is popularity contest, right? So for example, I beat out other agents that have had longer years in the business just because there was something about me that clicked with the people more. The whole sales process is trust, need, help, and hurry. So trust is really your first thing. So if you're bonding with your people, just kind of think about it, right? When you go in to see, a doctor or an attorney, it could be a little intimidating. For some of these people that we work with, it's intimidating. Maybe they're older, they've never sold a home before. Maybe they're young, they're first-time home buyers, they're afraid they're not going to be pre-approved. So there is a magical element of how you first meet the people and you click with them. That needs to be there. But then there's the trust, then there's the need aspect. And you have to be able to show them that they do have a need, but then you are the expert to fill them. So I think that's really it, is looking at real estate as an actual profession, like a doctor, like an attorney, like a CPA, and making sure that you carve out time every single day to hone your skills, to do your homework so that you come across as knowledgeable. Not just let me go do an open house and, oh, you think the granite's pretty? Great, we'll write an offer. I think, sadly, I do think one of the biggest downfalls to our industry is that, social media has made it look like it's just super easy and we just take dancing videos and open doors. But no, when you sit down with any of these top agents, you can actually see see that they know numbers, they know data, they're consistently doing research, they know what's going on in the market, and they really have their pulse on it. So my recommendation would be to make sure that you do your homework so that you show up prepared, right? And you're not gonna, cram it down somebody's neck instantly, but just the way that you have a conversation, you'll slip in little pieces of facts and data, and that really makes you sound like the expert. But that's really my thing, is to focus on the prospecting and bonding with people and making that human connection to where you're the one that they think of. And with social media, it's even easier these days, because sometimes too, you can just go and comment on their page or like something or send them a private message, and then that way it's your name that comes up and they're interacting with you, so that when they think about you. And it's just one of the things too with real estate, there is an element of luck involved. Sometimes you're just the right person at the right time, so you don't know where they're at in the process, and if you're the last agent that they talked to, or that they felt like they cared, right? So there's this old school sales term, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. That is 100% accurate, because you could sit here and be cold and style a bunch of facts and data at people. They don't care. You have to first kind of bond with them. They have to know that they like you as a person. You got to make a friend first, but after you make a friend, I do feel like now in this modern day climate, you really do have to show that you know what you're talking about, that you're an expert. And even if you are a newer agent, you can talk about, you and your mentor have done this, you're learning this, you just did this is what's going on, or we just got this, right? So lean on your mentors, lean on your office managers, other people in the office that are doing deals. You could say, yes, we just sold a home over in Briarbrook, and and we got, our customer $10,000 towards their closing costs. Things like that. People want to see success stories, right? So, and then something too, maybe think about if you are new, joining a team, because then too, you can use your team leader to your advantage, right? So then you can say, oh, the team just sold this, and this was our result for our client. People want to see, real world results. So yes, unfortunately, just, dancing and doing a video and thinking people are going to come to you, it doesn't work like that, because nowadays everybody knows a realtor. So Jordan asked me how I attract luxury. This is something I would say it really does come with time. A lot of agents think that, you just show up and because you're pretty, that instantly makes you a luxury agent. That couldn't be far from the case. One of the biggest things with luxury that you have to remember, it's not the luxury house, it's the people behind the luxury house. So what is the profile of a multi-million-dollar buyer? They're going to be business owners, they're going to be attorneys, they're going to be doctors, right? So they're going to be people that have higher professionalism. Literally, it is my knowledge of data, it is my article reading, it is all of the different things that I've subscribed to have my heart, like my pulse on the market on a daily basis, so that when I talk to them like an educated professional. It's not just, oh, do you like this tile? Oh, do you like this? It's so pretty. They need to trust you like a peer and a professional, which only is going to happen with, knowledge and education. And unless, I'm not going to say there's always exceptions to the rules, but for me, I've been in the business, over a decade, right? So it's taken me a decade to kind of get to the point where I was having, more luxury listings. But that's something too, where it's like over time, it's something that you can build towards. But I would just say that it's really, instead of thinking about the house, think about what kind of, what's the profile of the customers that are living in those homes, right? And a lot of them are, they're going to be higher income professionals. So they need to respect you. They need to know that you know what you're talking about. They need to trust you. And that's going to come from you, knowing market stats and, quoting the Wall Street Journal, all the time. One thing I will always do with my luxury clients is I'm always sending them valuable pieces of information. So if I'm working with buyers and it says, Wall Street Journal released this, or, an article from realtor.com, because you can sit there and talk to your blue in the face, but when you actually give them the actual stats to back it up, then you come across as a person of authority. So it's always tell and then show, because the show is going to back it up. So you want to tell them that you know what's going on, and then you're going to send them the articles and then they back up what you say. And that's really how you earn their trust, right? And then the nice thing is too, is that once you earn them, then they will refer you to other people then, that are in their same, professional brackets. So I would really say that that's really the big part of luxury, is positioning yourself as a professional, where they do look at you as a peer and not, just some other real estate person. Because attorneys and doctors go to school for 7-8 years, and we go to school for 40 hours? So that's really the biggest hurdle that you have to overcome. And like for me too, right? So I got my broker's license. I'm currently in the process of doing another course to make me a certified divorce professional. It's the things like that, the extra steps and the certifications that the upper echelon clients are going to appreciate, because they have those things themselves. However, I don't want to discourage anybody, because if you know somebody, if you come from a really rich family and you have a rich network and the people are, then yes, you could definitely walk into luxury. But if you're a normal agent that's starting out, most people don't have those networks here. So it's really just, developing your skills and getting to the point where then they trust you, as they see you as somebody on their wavelength that they want to work with. My last piece of advice would be always be learning. because if you're consistently learning and developing yourself, that's going to just help your mental base. It's going to help you with clients. The more you know, the better off you're going to be. In the slower times, do more research, take classes. That would be really, really my biggest piece of advice to anybody. I know for me, I'm taking classes down in Miami at the Miami board. They have a lot of educational opportunities. The more that you can learn and know in this business, then the more like a professional you will come across. And that's really it. So I hope you guys have an awesome year. Hopefully you got some bits of information and I didn't ramble too long, but thank you for letting me have the opportunity.
Hi Premium Agents, my name is TJ Connor. I'm happy to have been with Premium Properties since 2019. Our broker John Hubner had asked me to go over and take a few minutes today, explain what I believe a successful agent is. Many of you think that a successful agent means the amount of transactions that they've closed in the past 6 months to a year. Well, I somewhat beg to differ. Today we're going to go over a little Q&A session with our marketing department. We're going to go over what I believe a successful agent, what characteristics and attributes that they should possess.
What are some of the habits that a successful agent starts with daily?
That's a great question, actually. I was raised to make my bed. First thing I do as soon as I wake up is make my bed. Nice and tight. There's military-style sheets. Second thing is I make sure I have a nice breakfast, work out. Start your day right? Feel nice and refreshed. Second thing would be I like to work at an actual office. I don't work from home. I like the camaraderie that I find working outside of the home. I like to separate myself. If I feel as though I wake up and go to a desk in the living room or in the flex room, and then I come back at the end of the day, I didn't leave. There's nothing that I'm doing, okay? So separating yourself, your work-life balance should be one thing that all agents should do. You should be working in an office, especially with all the offices that we have available in Premium Properties. So that's number one. First things first is having a great daily routine. So that's starting your daily routine, but having a good work daily routine, okay? So everybody's a little bit different, okay? And there's so many different coaches that are out there that'll say, okay, first things first, check your emails. First things first is start cold calling. It depends on the type of agent that you are. But I'll tell you what I do is I literally will check my emails, look over my daily planner. I'll see exactly how many appointments I have. I will fill in those gaps with prospecting. So I did an old Floyd Wickman training. Okay, that's one of my real estate coaches. And so every day on my daily planner, I have it highlighted per half hour. Anytime that I'm doing personal stuff, everything's in the red. Anytime I'm working on my business, I highlight it yellow. And that means that I'm prospecting, okay? Or I'm making calls, I'm doing something, paperwork, whatever it may be, I'm working on files, okay? I'm actually working in the business. The more I work in the business, the more green. So green is going to be face-to-face with my clients, okay? Or I'm at closings. So if you see a lot of red, that means you're not gonna have a lot of green. If you see a lot of yellow, you're gonna have a lot of green. And that's what we want, is we wanna make money and be successful. The other thing to do, and to be successful, I believe, is being highly organized. I think everybody should have a business plan. I know every successful agent and realtor in the industry, they're going to have a strong business plan. I don't mean just set one business plan and set one business goal and say, hey, I want to close 60 properties per year. I mean, everybody wants to close 60 plus properties per year. But in order to get there, what are the smaller goals that you have to hit, to achieve that higher goal? So if I say, okay, I need to prospect this many hours per day to generate this many leads, and then those leads will turn into appointments, and how many appointments do I need to make in order to get to closings? And so what I do is I set monthly goals, I'll set quarterly goals, and I'll set every 6-month goals to try to get to where my annual goal is. And a lot of times I will not reach my annual goal, and it shouldn't have to be obtainable. It should be close enough that you can obtain it, but it should be just far enough, and it pushes you that much farther.
What did you do to learn how to get to where you're at?
That's a lot. It's a great question, though. As many of you know, I was licensed in Pennsylvania and New Jersey for years. I started out when I was 24, and I was trying to sell second homes, like beachfront properties, to pretty much like millionaires. And a lot of people to take me serious. It was a very hard hurdle for me to get over. But you know what? I overcame it. You know what I did was I started selling in other markets that were outside of that, which is totally fine. A sale's a sale. I'll sell a $50,000 home. I don't care if it's $50,000 condo or mobile home, all the way up to whatever $50 million property if I ever was able to. I spent a lot of time, and I still do it to this day. I will spend at least 45 minutes to an hour in front of the computer. I'll be on a Facebook group. It could be with a lot of other professional realtors throughout the United States. I will also watch a lot of YouTube videos. There are some great role models within the real estate industry, and they post videos all the time. How they script their calls. It's not even scripted at that point because they're just so used to the way they speak to people. learning, voice inflection, hand gestures, sales techniques. I think it's very important to also, look at the old school. I'm old school. I don't need to do like AI and all that fun stuff. And there's tons of technology. But that's the other thing. You should be learning constantly of what's going on, like different technology, different systems that are in place. And over time, you start honing that skill and you just learn more and more. And also learn from your peers. Think about premium properties. I never felt as though I was trying to hide something from other agents and other agents weren't trying to hide what works for them either. We're a great family here. So we've got excellent camaraderie. And I've learned a lot from the agents that I've worked with here over the past 6 or 7 years.
What do you do to generate your business?
I get that question all the time. So every realtor, in my opinion, we all have our specific niches, right? Some realtors, they like generating their business through open houses. Me personally, I like volume, but not too much where I cannot give great customer service to my clients, okay? I like to pay to play, okay? But when I didn't have much of a marketing budget, I would do open houses. Back then, I used to door knock. That doesn't really work as much anymore. But I ask people for business. I'll ask, attorneys for probate deals, divorce attorneys. I mean, there's so many different ways. But truly, what I do feel a successful agent should have is at least 3 to 4 different lead sources. Okay, I call them pillars. So that means you're not just focused on one lead source. You're focused on 3 to 4. So you've got all of these lead sources pumping into your CRM, and we have an excellent CRM with our company. And that way you can stay highly organized, okay, and work those leads. But I might be, paying for Realtor.com, Zillow, I might be door knocking, I might be, doing open houses. There's so many different things that I would do. But what works for me doesn't necessarily work for you. So you have to find out and constantly, adapt to what works for you as an agent in your lead generation. But I still am a firm believer. We all own our own businesses. So you're not going to go out and start your business and open up a laundromat or a restaurant without some kind of capital. So it would behoove you to set aside a little bit from your first closing or second closing and start investing in oneself. That's my suggestion. And then the more deals you close, the less you have to spend, because now if you close those clients properly and you're still staying on top of mind, you're going to get tons of referrals. Like right now, I would say 60 to 70% of my business is going to be referrals from not just past clients, but also other realtors who actually had to leave the industry because they weren't doing that well.
You mentioned staying top of mind. What do you do to stay top of mind and get referrals? Yeah,
so that's a really good question, because if you're constantly generating leads and you're trying to close business, right? How do you keep on following up with all those clients, because you're going to have past clients over the course of decades, right? Having a great CRM, basically put in their closing date as their birthday. So I'll get a reminder, and I just order a big box, usually 200 at a time, of happy birthday cards. Same thing with holiday cards. So I will send them out. I'll just handwrite it. I've got a big roll of stamps in my desk drawer, and if I get a notification in the morning that it's so-and-so's birthday, I don't care if it's their birthday that day, I'll still put a card in the mail. Staying top of mind is also just sometimes, just calling people. I like to become friends with a lot of my clients. Now, a lot of them I don't either, but a lot of them I do. And so, sometimes if there's special occasions, maybe I'll just drop by, I'll give them a call, I'll be like, hey, I'm in your neighborhood, what are you guys doing? I don't want to be a one-hit wonder. I want to be like a rock band legend. When I close a transaction, I want to close it hard. I don't want to have the clients being like, oh, well, closing was postponed because of this, and this. No, we're problem solvers. And so we have to make sure that we close. This is someone's most important, I would say, investment in one's life. So we want to make sure that we're a little extra on that. Okay. And I think that's also what separates a lot of agents from good realtors in this industry.
If you could give one tip to an agent on how to be successful, what would that be?
Oh my God, answer your phone. We don't know who's calling us. I mean, I have people that are calling me from spam numbers, and it's actually a buyer or a seller. They may be calling me from their work number, and it comes up as spam. So you have to answer your phones all the time. It's very, very important. I think that's probably the biggest tip. Let's go over everything again. Wake up with a good routine. Have a good plan set. Constantly be learning. Hone your marketing skills. All right, that's very, very important. Learn how to market. Be a marketing genius. Learn how to talk to people. Dress presentable. Speak to people presentably. Learn your contracts. Learn how to write a contract. Be professional to your colleagues. That's another big one that I see. Be an industry professional. Treat your other agents within other brokerages with respect, because you never know if you're going to have to do another transaction with them. And a lot of times that could come back and bite you in the butt. So if you close strong with not only your client, you close strong with that other agent, regardless whether or not you approve of their professionalism, they will remember you just like you're going to remember them. Constantly following up with your clients post-closing. And if you do all of those, I think there's no reason why you can't be a successful agent in this industry. There's a lot of business to go around, especially in Central Florida. I hope that answered all your questions. I'm very, very happy to go over this with the rest of our agents here at Premium Properties. And I wish you all great success for 2026.
Yeah, my name is Hamid. I'm happy to be one of the top agents at Premium Properties. I came up from a business background. I owned several businesses, before I came into the real estate business. And I really want everybody, to treat this as a business. That's why, that's how you're going to make it, because you clock yourself in, you clock yourself out, just stick to a schedule, and then you'll make it. And like I said, I joined the company 5 years ago. I've been the top agent since then. In the first 6 months, make it to the top 20, and then in the second year I was number 9, third year I was number 7, last year I was number 4 or 5, and now I'm number 4. I'm going to number 1 soon. And it's not about competition, it's about cooperation, it's about hard work and happy. This business is not about you just getting your license and you come in. It is about, to me, I found it most importantly discipline. So consistency, relationship, and strategy. You gotta have these things. So for me, on daily basis, I just gonna tell you about my schedule. I don't want to slam you with a lot of information, because we can give you as much information we can, but if there is no discipline, there is no schedule. To me, I wake up every day at 5 a.m. in the morning. I do my meditation, I do my workout, because our job is a lot of, it needs a lot of, it's a roller coaster of emotions, of work, and a lot of stuff. So you have to be ready for that. So you do your workout, and I do my affirmation. Take kids to school and come to the office. Try to, make the best of my day. Try to at least make 5 connections, either in person or calls, and you can make 15. We have all the tools in the IM system that you can get in. You have the Lofty, you have a lot of CRMs that you can benefit from. Open houses, we've been doing weeks of open houses. It's a good way of meeting people, talking people. You gotta master your market as well. You gotta have the skills and the knowledge. A lot of people ask you, how is the market? We're not economists to answer these questions, but we're realtors. We know, about what's going on in the real estate, business. You gotta have a neighborhood that you specialize in, and the average days in the market. No matter what the market is, here in Dr. Phillips, the market is still seller market. Phillips Landing and all these Cypress Point, all these subdivisions. You go to Lake Nona, same thing. But you go other places, it's balanced, and other places it's buyer's market. How you gonna know this? You got all the tools to go and do your work, and also when you build those relationships with clients, how do you do it? Make them informed, and when you make them informed, they're confident, they can tell about you and refer other clients to you. Master the lead generation and follow-up. So this is not only about new agents, but seasoned agents also miss on that follow-up. A lot of like I said, you gotta use your phone, call your clients, make sure how they are doing, make sure you stay on the top of mind, how you keep posting on Facebook and Instagram and doing videos. These are very good tools. Before even you meet your clients, they already know you, and then they meet you, then you build that strong relationship. So these are the things that I find so helpful. Follow-up thing is very major, because we lose a lot of clients because we don't follow up with them. And somebody is is doing the work that you're not doing, and then they get these clients even though they are yours. You have to be consistent. You have to be disciplined. And I found it like motivation is good. You motivate yourself, every day, everything, but discipline, consistency, have a schedule, you'll make it. To provide a world-class customer service, make sure you take care of your clients. But how you take care of your clients? Clients can feel it if you're making it or faking it. Most important thing is you gotta have the skills. The skills comes with the knowledge. If you don't learn, somebody else is learning and getting the business. So get the knowledge, get the skill, clear communication to your clients so they can be informed. So you have to be a strong negotiation. We have a good mentorship program as well that you can use on that. Use the Florida.org. We have in MLS and NAR and all the platforms. You just go and then learn these skills and negotiate, because when you work for your client and you make sure there is no money left on the table for your client, I'm sure they're going to refer you to others, and they make sure they're going to stick with you, because there are clients that we did, actually repeat clients is very important in this business, especially working with investors. You do many transactions with them. That's actually me. A lot of, I just closed on the 6th transaction with one client. It was the second in this year, 6 in the last 2-3 years. Another client, two, three transaction, another client, 3 transaction. So because they're happy, they see the work, you save them a lot of money. When you go under contract, that's a process, and you gotta walk your seller or your buyer through that process. When there is an inspection, you get that 40 pages report. You get in touch with your inspector, make sure everything is good. See how you can fix problems if they are there. If the seller is not fixing them, you make sure you get a credit or something, and there is appraisal, there is a room for negotiation, title commitment, lien search, open permits, all that stuff. So these things, you learn them as you go. As a seasoned agent, the beauty about this business, you're always introduced to something new in this business. That's why you go and seek the knowledge and come up with solutions and make everybody happy. I hope everybody, makes it, let's finish strong in this 3rd quarter. Make sure you're disciplined, consistency, build strong relationship, and let's stay premium agents. And please, if you got any questions as a new agent or even a seasoned agent, you got a family of realtors in premium properties that's willing to help. They're willing to answer your questions, and you're in the right place. Premium property, and stay premium.
Hello everyone, this is Barry Miller from The Closing Agent, Barry Miller Law. Thanks for joining us today. I wanted to kind of give you a legal update of things that are going on out there in the market. Look, it's a tough market out there. Interest rates have finally come down. Just checked this morning, it's like 6.2%. So we're going to have buyers more encouraged. People are kind of holding off again. Now what we're all waiting for too is see what the Fed does this month and next month. If they lower the rates again, maybe it'll come down below the 6%. I think psychologically, once that happens, I think the market's going to open up. But don't forget that the mortgage rates are not tied to the Fed prime rate. That the mortgage rates are tied to the bond market. So sometimes when the Fed rate comes down for the prime, the interest rates don't necessarily come down. So keep that in mind when you're seeing what's going on out there. But we're hoping we're going to have a good, fall into the winter time, and then maybe hopefully at the end of the year we'll have a big rush for tax purposes. People want to finish up their transactions. So go out there now, market now, and really get into it, because I think the market hopefully is going to start heating up. So the other thing I wanted to let you know is to remind you of things that we can do for you to make your business successful. First of all, at The Closing Agent, we have 6 offices strategically throughout all of Central Florida. We can also close anywhere in the state, so we can do it anywhere. Don't forget that when you take a listing, we'll do a complimentary search. Now, why do you want to do that? Because we want to make sure that there's nothing in there, no clouds, no old mortgages that didn't get satisfied or something wild recorded. So it will give us enough time to clear up the situation that might come up. And it's a good marketing tool when you're going out to do a listing, is to tell people we're very proactive. We work with our title partner that's going to give us that free title search. So that's very, very important. Now, the other thing is when you get the listing, don't forget, ask them for their prior owner's policy, because if it's under 3 years, we can give them reissue credit. And if something else comes up, we may need it to help with anything that we find in the back chain. Also, ask for a survey. because it's always a good thing, and the contract does say that you're supposed to provide that. And it can be helpful down the road. The buyer may not need to get a new one if the seller can sign an affidavit that there have been no changes. And don't forget, it's no changes. So if they put a fence, put it up, took it down, put it up, can't do it. They put up a shed, anything they do disqualifies from using that survey. So some other things that are here is, don't forget, we got 6 attorneys here at the law firm. We're here to help you on a variety of issues. Everything we can help you on, whether you're doing private mortgages, power of attorney, pre and post occupancy agreements. The array is there. We're here for you, answer questions for you. It's a good resource. And don't forget, when you're out there and the client asks you a legal question, say, hey, I got a license to sell real estate, not to give legal advice, but I work with someone. Let me call Barry Miller Law and I'll get you the right answer. That's a good thing to do, very professional, and it will show your client that you're relying and surrounding yourself with good professionals. Don't forget, we have our class the second Wednesday of every month. You get 2C credits, and if you want to look at any of our old classes, just for reference, you can't get credit, but for reference, all of them are online at theclosingagent.com, and it's called Video on Demand. So that's really good to go back and look at. So for example, some of the changes that are coming up in our next class on landlord-tenant is things that require don't forget, you got to have a flood disclosure on leases now. You got to have that on your contracts, but now it's got to be on leases too. And another interesting change that happened on leases is if you do an amendment to your lease, a current one or a new one, you can do communication through email for some of the things that are required to be certified mail, but they have to have an explicit consent to do that, and they can withdraw their consent at any time. Now the other thing is, don't forget, is on our website at theclosingagent.com we have the Realtor Resource Center. Lots of great addendums in there, especially for things like solar. If you're listing a house with solar, print that out. When you go to your listing, have them fill out all the information. Are the panels financed, leased, owned? A buyback agreement with the utility company. All of that's got to be handled. You get all that information, put it on the realtor remarks, and state that all offers must include this addendum. Hopefully one day FAR will come out, or the FAR bar will, but we've had this out for a couple of years. I'm not sure why they haven't. The other interesting thing that's out there too is, you can see on our Realtor Resource Center is a addendum, and one of the things there's 2 important addendums I think you should be aware of. One is that says that if the buyer doesn't make the deposit, the contract is automatically terminated and you can relist the property, because there's always a question about that. Take a look at that language. And the other thing is about, there's a little flaw in the FAR bar contract of, technically a buyer does not need to give the listing agent or the seller a copy of the loan approval or the loan denial. But look at our addendum section, and there is an addendum in there that requires that be done. Why do you want to do that? Just had it the other day. Everything seemed to be going fine. Then they just got a notice saying that we're not approved. They asked for a copy of the approval. They said, no, I don't have to give it to you. So take a look at that language. It's good. The other thing I want to make you be aware of is, be careful when you ask for an inspection report if you're a listing agent. Because if the buyer cancels due to inspection and they give you that report, don't forget, you've got to, anything that's in that report, you've now got to disclose, and you should change your seller's disclosure to comply with whatever was found out in that inspection report. Because you don't want to be accused later as, oh, you knew and didn't update your disclosure. So all of that is very, very important. And so go out there, be careful of what you got to do. We're here to help you, back you up. There's business out there. Just go out there, work hard, and we'll see you at your next closing. Thanks.
Good morning, everybody. I'm your marketing specialist, Jordan Rocco. Alongside me is John Russo of American Pacific Mortgage, and we're going to do a question and answer for our segment of the company-wide online meeting. So let's get into it. John, American Pacific Mortgage has been an incredible partner to Premium Properties over the years. Can you share how our collaboration is helping more clients become homeowners, especially in a challenging market like today's?
Gladly, Jordan. Thank you so much, and good morning to everybody. We've thoroughly enjoyed the opportunity to work so closely with a powerhouse independent brand here in the Central Florida market. You guys are local, my team is local, and I think that gives us an advantage. We're not explaining nuances of Florida properties to an underwriter somewhere in South Dakota or Alaska. We work with Michelle and Allison. Those are our underwriters. Those are their names. They live here. They work here. They understand our market. One of our greatest strengths, I believe, is our flexibility in underwriting. So I draw your attention to that first and foremost in our partnership. I think it's one of the things that empowers us. We take files that are turned down by other lenders every day, and I shake my head in amazement at what some of our competitors actually let walk away. And I'm also disturbed that this is the experience that they're creating for mortgage-seeking home buyers. I love the relationship we have with so many premium agents because they are real estate experts, powerhouses, when it comes to knowledge and passion for helping their buyers and sellers. They see us as a powerhouse lender and respect us acting in our space. So it's always a perfect symphony when we get to work this way together between realtor and lender, right? Some people refer to it as staying in your lane. I call it representing each other well, complementing each other. And we share one goal. We ensure that our client is thrilled by the outcome. These positive experiences, coupled with the technology platform that we use and share with our agents, I think makes our client relationship stickier, ensuring that future needs are met by the same team in the future when clients have a need again.
Love to hear that, John. Next question. You and your team are known for the incredible amount of training and education you provide our agents. We love the Monday Mortgage Minute. We love Finance Focus Friday and all of the training classes. What are some of the most impactful classes or initiatives you've introduced to help agents grow their business?
Great question, Jordan. So I think it's important to, in any partnership, to teach each other. And so for me as a lender, teaching agents the ins and outs of the mortgage, programs, products. But the reality is that as the licensed originators, Joey, Ivan, and myself, who support this relationship, we have to know 100% of the details that for the program that we're talking about to be able to fit our clients into those programs. So while I enjoy and we'll continue teaching classes that broaden agents' horizons. And some of our better ones this year, I think, have been, seeking feedback from the team at Premium Properties. The classes that folks have enjoyed the most really have been on renovation and construction lending, non-QM solutions, our proprietary FHA alternative program, which I think is a huge game changer, and competitively nobody else has this program in Florida. Reverse mortgage for purchase is another one that's near and dear to my heart to help our senior clients. And a few weeks ago, the appraisal in and outs, we had a national expert on to talk about appraisals and how agents participate in that process. So while those are all great, I really enjoy so much more the ability that I have to wear a hat as a sales coach. So I love working with my loan officers and with our agents to improve their time management, their end-to-end sales process, their prospecting skills, successful positioning one's value proposition. These are all some classes that we've taught over the last 2 years as well. Bottom line, I love being part of a winning team, and whatever I can do to support the team through education, I'm here to do. Every one of these families that we help win helps us all win.
Awesome. And if you're watching this, John Russo does consistent training every month, at least 2 a month. So make sure that you are participating in that, and that can always be found on our calendar on IAM. But to give you more of a broader question about the outside terms of things, so we've seen lending evolve so much over the last few years. What innovative loan programs or strategies is APM offering that is helping agents close more deals right now?
Another great question, Jordan. So as the country's 9th largest mortgage lender, I take pride in the fact that we stay way ahead of the curve when it comes to the use of technology, making it easier for our clients to do business with us, helping our realtors grow their business, and innovating in the product development space. Many of our competitors, and they all offer the Florida Bond, the Hometown Heroes. Oftentimes, those that know me, we joke about it. Every July when the pot of money gets filled up, we all run talking about HTH. And we offer that too. But in addition, here's a differentiator. We offer 30 plus down payment assistance programs, all different varieties: soft seconds, silent seconds, hard seconds, grants, you name it, we have it. And those are there to help the first time home buyer or even subsequent time home buyer overcome the challenge of affordability in this market. Our proprietary Pathway DPA program is another great example of us leading the pack on a program that gives buyers a 5% second mortgage without income limits, without a requirement that they be a first time home buyer, down to a 580 credit score. There is no assistance program out there that enjoys going in this sub 620 space. And we do it at an extremely competitive rate to help our home buying public here in Central Florida. We've actually closed a handful of that program this year with TJ, with Ozon, with Jen Normandia, and Allegra, mentoring him through his first transaction. Congratulations, Jen. Our 3.5% grant program, right, that offers 3.5% for an FHA down payment. That's all one needs. And there's no requirement that one be a first-time home buyer, and there's no income limit also. So these are differentiators that demonstrate innovation on our side that have taken us away from the normal, regular, vanilla programs that states and counties and cities offer. That grant program, by the way, we just closed the first one in APM history, and it was with one of Eugenia's clients. So congratulations to Eugenia. And a lot of folks, right, I'm going to end the answer to this question with this one little fact. A lot of folks think these programs are extra painful, more bells and whistles, and it's not that way. If we look at Eugenia's closing that we had a few weeks ago, process was amazingly smooth. Clear to close was issued 7 days before closing. Final balance CD 6 days before closing, and docs were sitting at the title company 5 days before closing. That's how we like to do business through all of our loans, but it's rare and unique to be able to do that with a little bit more complex down payment assistance program. And so that's just some of the innovative ways in which we're trying to help make a difference today in the community that we serve.
We definitely appreciate you making the difference. So agents often tell us that you help them feel more confident navigating market uncertainty. How do you and your team keep agents informed about changing mortgage trends and opportunities?
And I know how much email we all get. Believe me, I get a ton as well. But it makes me happy to receive phone calls, emails, or texts from premium agents who, on a weekly basis, share with me that they just read my Monday Mortgage Minute or Finance Focus Friday bulletins that you so kindly put out to the whole company on my behalf. I think it's a great communication touch point for us to be able to educate our agents in a quick 2 to 3 minute quick read each week. The Monday Mortgage Minute gives you an update on what's happening with mortgage rates and how that affects our local market in terms of opportunity. And the Finance Focus Friday bulletin is usually product focused, teaching agents something new about what we're offering, new products that might come out, might give you a potential aha moment when working with a buyer who could benefit from that specific new little bell or whistle. Outside of these email communications, we teach agent classes every other Thursday, typically, sometimes Tuesdays, dedicated to premium agent focused education in the mortgage product space, as well as sharpening your sales skills. Finally, we always participate in company events, orientation, moonlight mentorship, branch meetings, first-time homebuyer workshops, open houses, broker opens, you name it. We love being there for you. We're your dedicated lending partner. We're here to support you, and please leverage us as you need us.
Well, thank you. And to wrap things up, it's always a pleasure to have you be a part of our company-wide meetings. And this has been an awesome interview. But definitely want to know, looking ahead, what's your vision for how Premium Properties and American Pacific Mortgage can continue working together to create even greater success for our clients and our premium agents?
That's what we wake up to do every day together, Jordan. And I think honestly, as I look back over the last few years, we've gotten off to a great start. I think it's the tip of the iceberg. I think that even that's something that's great has the potential to grow and become even greater over time. So I think that's the goal as we end 2025 and move into 2026. We love seeking feedback from our agent partners as to what we can do to get better and to improve our delivery across the board to them as agents and to our clients that we share. One item that I'm rolling out today, actually, little special announcement in honor of this meeting, is something that I've been thinking about for a while, and I think it makes sense. So we're going to roll out an agent loyalty program just for premium agents. So I'd like to say thank you. And I always like to say thank you when we receive a referral and when we close a deal and help a family. And I also like to keep things simple because we don't want tracking dashboards and all that stuff. So here it is. For every transaction we've closed or experienced together in 2025, I'm rewarding those agents with a credit for a free appraisal on a future transaction. So we know that affordability is a challenge. And so every penny helps. If we can help spend $500 to $700 to help reward someone for working with a great agent who used a great lender, us, if I can be so bashful, it'll give us an opportunity to do more business with each other. So I'd like to do a little congratulations and recognition for Ozan, Hector Vasquez, Salimar. Ariel Brown gets 2 credits. Ariel and Ivan and I have closed 2 transactions this year, earlier in the year. Dion Harding, Sa, and I'm going to butcher her last name, so I'm not going to try, but we'll put this out in writing after the meeting next week. For the meeting today. Jason Acuna, Jan Normandia, Debbie Bergeron, Elsa Brunache, TJ gets 2 credits. Francisco, Eugenia, Christy Andrea gets 2 credits, and Dave Savage. So for everyone with 1 or 2 credits, just let us know how you want that applied. If there's a specific client that you want us to work with to give them that benefit. And we'll be sure to, again, acknowledge that the reason they're getting the free appraisal is because they're working with such a talented premium agent. And so in closing, Jordan, I'm truly looking forward, as my team is also, right, between Joey and myself and Ivan, we're looking forward to closing out 2025 on a high note. We still have big goals that we have to meet, and we still have a lot of work to do in these last 2.5 months of the year. And we're looking forward to 2026 being a much better year. I think everybody's in agreement that the tide is turning. We're seeing rates edge in the right direction ever so slowly. The pent-up demand that's been sitting out there for years is super strong in our market. And I'm positive that we're well positioned together to create phenomenal outcomes in 2026 and in the years to come. So I'd like to thank everybody, all the premium agents who we do business with and we haven't done business with yet, for all that you do to make a difference in the lives of our clients and our community. We're better because of you. And thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much, John Russo. We look forward to continuing our partnership and all the training, the loyalty program, the weekly emails. Look forward to continuing doing all of that. And if you don't already know John Russo and the APM team, make sure you contact them. Their information will be somewhere on this screen. I am not sure where, but it will be there. And thank you, John Russo. And let's have a great rest of this company-wide online meeting. Keep staying tuned. Take care, everybody.
Hello everyone, my name is Courtney. I am the founder of CNC Creative Marketing Services. And if you don't know already, we have partnered with Premium Properties as of February earlier this year. And we have taken over all of the marketing on the social media front for the company side of the marketing. So I just briefly want to go over some of the work we've done, let you know some of the stuff that we've done within the company for agents, give you a little recap, and let you know what's to come later this year into next year. All right, so let's talk about where we started. So before CNC took over as the social media marketers, we wanted to modernize the company's online presence. We wanted to build credibility as a luxury real estate brokerage. We wanted to attract high-end buyers and sellers, and then create a brand that agents are proud to represent. So we felt like from the social media being presented before we took over, it just wasn't showing those 4 key points. So after we met and we discussed what the goals were for the company and how we wanted to take Premium Properties to the next level. We really wanted to focus on building that brand on the social media side of things into a luxury high-end brokerage, focusing on these 4 main points here. So as you can see, we have a little before here, and I'll show you the after on the next slide here. You can see the after. So this is what we've done so far. So since February, we've completely redefined how Premium Properties shows up online, specifically on social media. So we've focused on elevated visual identity, so sleek, cohesive, and high-end graphics, photos, carousels, and videos. We've used consistent tones of voice and professional presentation and showcase premium service across all platforms. That would be Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, etc. So those are the things that we've done. The strategic rebrand has boosted brand credibility, attracted higher quality leads, and positioned Premium Properties among Central Florida's most desirable brokerage, which was our main goal here, this last point. So I think that as we've continued working since February, these are the things that we focused on. And I believe that if you check or look at the work that we've done thus far, you would see that we've kind of really pivoted as far as what we were doing before and what we're doing now. And you can see that the brand really does look more high-end, more luxury, and achieves all of these goals that we had kind of set for ourselves the beginning of this year. So as far as the work that we're doing, we're not just basically posting on social media on behalf of the company. We are also hosting monthly social media seminars. So we've been doing this since February. Every month we host free seminars for all of the agents designed to help you build your personal brand online. So we teach you how to do things like learn how to create effective video and photo content, understand how to connect with high-end clients through social media, and then how to stay consistent and confident in your marketing. So that's kind of just a synopsis of some of the things that we've gone over, but we really do get into the details about how each platform works, how to build your brand, strategies, campaigns, structuring yourself, and we kind of make it dialed down to where it's not as overwhelming as it may appear to be, especially if you're not really familiar with the social media landscape or anything like that. So we really do try to tone it down, make it really clear, make it simple. And we also give you guys goals and simple things to implement into your routines and your strategies that'll help you easily execute and see results quicker and make it just a little less overwhelming for you guys as agents. And we've actually seen agents begin applying these strategies, and it's showing in their content. So as you can see, here's a sample post from Austin Sells, Central Florida. There's his username there. And this is something that we had gone over in a recent seminar about content ideas. If you get stuck, maybe you don't know what to post, you don't have any listings or anything like that, there's other stuff that you can post, one of them being a client testimonial. This is really going to give you credibility as an agent, hearing a review from somebody that you've worked with. So great example here from Austin. Real results from our agents. So we've noticed, like I said, more agents have been posting consistently, which is something that we really try to harp on, even if it's just 2 to 3 times a week. Maintaining that consistency, maintaining that schedule, and holding yourself accountable, you'll really see results as time goes on. Implementing branding and video tips. So for example, last month, we did a whole seminar about how to record videos, how to make Instagram Reels, how to make TikToks. And so we've seen you guys execute that as well. Using storytelling and lifestyle-driven content to attract clients is something that we've also seen. And it's really nice to see that you guys are using the tips that we provide for you, because we know that they do work, because we use them on our end for not just Premium Properties, but any other clients in many other industries that we work with. So it's nice to see that you guys are using the tips and tricks that we're giving you to really boost your brands and boost your presence as a realtor for Premium Properties. So here's another example from Leslie. This is a great one, an educational post about why to reduce time on the market. So really simple, really clean. If you look at her Instagram or Facebook, you can see that she really does try to use the same color palette, the same fonts, colors, and keeps everything cohesive and really professional, like we've talked about in the past. Perfect. On to the next. So keeping our brand premium. So we want to really maintain this luxury image that we've built for the company. So we're continuing to post only luxury level listings on company pages. We're focusing on storytelling, lifestyle, and professionalism. We want to ensure all visuals and captions align with our premium aesthetic that we've built and that we've curated. So important to note, if your listing doesn't meet the premium aesthetic, no problem. You're always welcome to post it yourself and tag us. We'll gladly repost. But just a reminder that if it doesn't meet that premium aesthetic, we will not be posting on behalf of the company. But again, if you would like to post it, we have no problem reposting if there's a tag. And if you don't know how to do that, you can ask Jordan. He's very helpful and will provide some insight into those things. This just ensures that we protect the brand while still supporting you. All right, let's talk about our impact so far. I'm not going to go in too detailed here, but I did want to just recap of the things that we've seen since implementing our strategy on the social media side of things for just the company itself. So a couple things here. We've seen increased engagement and follower growth across all platforms, improved overall brand perception and recognition, strengthened agent confidence in leveraging social media, and positioned Premium Properties as a top-tier modern brokerage. So really, our overall goal was that last bullet point there, positioned Premium Properties as a top-tier modern brokerage, just to set Premium Properties apart from other companies within Central Florida or the expanding area. But as you can see the screenshot here, over the last 90 days, we've had over 34,000 views on just Instagram alone, which is a pretty high number. So it's good to see that climbing monthly, and hopefully we can get that up through the end of the year and into next year. Also, follower count has increased as well. So this just shows that the strategies and the pinpoints that we implement on our side of things works. So we try to give that to you as well when we do our seminars and show you guys how you can also see a jump in those profile views, post views, and follower growth. All right, so looking ahead. So as we go through the end of the year into the beginning of next year, we want to continue to elevate our content and visuals. So trying to focus on posting more video content has been the goal for us, featuring more agent success stories and behind the scenes moments. So we really want to post more about what's going on inside of the company, what's going on with the agents. And I think just giving people a closer look at the company culture and the people who keep it running. So more to come on that. We're going to be continuing our educational resources and training sessions. So like I said, monthly, we are going to be hosting those seminars. If there is something maybe you would like to go over, you have a request for a topic, you have a question, feel free to reach out to Jordan and let him know, and he can relay that information to us. And then strengthening the connection between brand agents and audience is always really important. So those are things that we're going to be tackling again through the end of this year on to the beginning of next year. And together we'll keep making Premium Properties the name clients trust first in luxury real estate. Thank you guys so much. And if you have any questions, as always, please let us know. Glad to see that you guys are coming to the monthly seminars, and we're looking forward to hosting more of those in the future. Thank you guys so much.
Good morning, everybody. I am Katie Murray, the Vice President of Operations here at Premium Properties Real Estate and Premium Rental Management. I am just here to take a couple moments to talk to you guys specifically about our rental department and get you interested in leasing our properties. We manage roughly 600 single-family condo, townhomes, even mobile homes throughout Central Florida and Brevard County. We do have a dedicated staff on property managers as well as accountants who are handling all the back end stuff. We are currently looking for agents who are interested in leasing out the properties. We do give out email leads, phone leads. We kind of give you the groundwork. Your duties would be to find the qualified applicants, show the properties. As soon as they apply, rent out the property, you get paid. It is a wonderful way to supplement your income if you have clients who are interested in buying, but maybe now's not the right time. They can't find the right property, a plethora of different reasons. rentals are always available. At any given time, we have about a 10% to 15% vacancy rate. So this can range anywhere from 20, 60, 70 properties. There is always availability. So if you are interested, we would love to see you on our every other Friday meeting. It is at 9:30 via Zoom. There is a link on IAM that you can always connect to. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. My email is k.murray@premiumagents.net. And my direct line is 407-988-3848. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of our meeting.
Hey, good afternoon. How's it going? I'm Joe Lester, your friendly home inspector. I just wanted to reach out to you, my friends at Premium Properties, and let you know that I thank you for 6 wonderful years of a working relationship. And I also thank you for entrusting me with your clients and their home buying experience. So if you're in the need for a home inspector, just remember I'm a certified master inspector with over 6,000 inspections experience. And I also offer your clients a $100,000 home warranty package at no additional charge with every full inspection. You can always reach out to me at 901-337-7872, or you can always schedule me online on baainspections.com. Thank you again.